Yo, 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 yo. It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge. Each one teach one. Peace and love. Signing in from the Dogon, reporting live from the Dogon. You know what it is. This is another session of Mackin' with Mac book review series. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Follow the movement on Instagram, MacTV_82. Cannot stress this enough. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Thumbs up, give me the likes. That helps me with the algorithm, man. I need the algorithm to feel me. The book I will be reviewing today is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Yeah, I cursed. Sorry, Mom. It's written by Mark Ranson. Again, written by Mark Ranson. It's an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers. Really good book. I would honestly say that this book is very transformative. It definitely made me self-reflect on what I have allowed to influence my thinking, and how these things subconsciously have affected me. This book, it really made me look inward. You know, have I been loving myself like I should? Have I been valuing and appreciating myself as I should? It helped me realize there are a lot of things that I put a lot of stock in. There are a lot of things that I overvalued that I shouldn't have. And it really made me confront myself. You know, Maurice, like, you have to abdicate the victim mentality. You know, nobody owes you anything. You know, you're on your own. I mean, you know, I know some people, believe that, they have different spiritual beliefs. But at its core, your quality of life is going to be dictated by you and your decisions, and just the overall choices you make. A lot of times, I think people outsource things to other people. That we have this inherent sense of entitlement. We've become softer, I think, as a society. I don't think people are as resilient as they were in years past. The onus is placed on other people. You're supposed to make me happy. You're supposed to make me successful. I'm not winning. I'm not happy because of you. You. Like, there's no accountability. There's a dearth amount of accountability. Accountability unto self. One of the things I want to touch on in this book was the writing style. It was very academic. It had moments where it was very academic, and then it had a lot of moments where the writing was it was very blunt. The language was kind of locker room language, but I appreciated that. I think it made it felt like the conversation was more down to earth. This whole book feels like a conversation piece. Let me see. One of the things that he made mention of is, like, people get hurt. People do things that people hurt us. People do things that we didn't deserve. But the bottom line is you can't remain stuck there. He has this thing called it's this what's the name? It's like something panda. It's like this bear that just tells you all this bad news, but it's like pretty much take accountability. Understand. Learn from your pain. I remember this OG Crip told me a long time ago. He said, "Never forget your pain. Learn from your pain. Control your narrative, but learn from your pain." I think a lot of times, a lot of our lives would be better and easier if we just took more accountability. And I know it's easier said than done, but when you're done wrong and you're hurt, you just can't stay there. You have to come up with some type of plan. If you have to see a therapist, talk to someone, you can't, no one should have the power to dictate your value in your life, but you. You should not live for the affirmation of others. One of the things that I like that he mentioned in this book, he was like, everybody's a badass. We're all great. We're not necessarily great because we have a PhD, or we were millionaires, or we have an amazing body, or I don't know, we have this amazing career. What makes us great is the fact that we wake up every morning And we make choices. We make the choice to move on, to push through, to be resilient. That's what makes somebody great. Putting one foot in front of the other and just proceeding to go, and not quitting. That's what makes you great. There are so many. One of the things that I liked about one of the things I liked in this book, he talks about relationships, and he pretty much essentially says, conflict is healthy in a relationship because it establishes boundaries. It essentially can set a standard, and you can hash things out verbally and talk through it and work through it. And pretty much the premise of a relationship, and I'm guilty of this, I've always wanted to save my partner or just be the ultimate help to my partner. And I realized, no, sometimes you actually stunt people's growth when you're always trying to interject or save them. And you can come from a noble place, but I'm noticing some people, and this book pointed out, some people are coming from a place of, if I help you, if I save you, you'll love me. You'll love me in return. And that's not healthy. Love is supposed to be organically given. Love, he kind of gives me a different perspective on love, where love really should be like an iron sharpens iron thing. Like, I should love you enough and be passionate enough to want to help you as I can, but, as needed, to be honest with you, to be transparent with you, but I can't save you. That is up to you. And I'm realizing a lot of people are in unhealthy relationships because they think their partner is essentially supposed to be their savior, or if they're not happy, there's no onus placed on the person. The onus is always placed on their partner. They didn't do this. This is why I'm unhappy. And no, take accountability for your own happiness. Let me read something. For a relationship from the book, for a relationship to be healthy, both people must be willing and able to both say no and hear no. Without that negation, without that occasional rejection, boundaries break down and one person's problems and values come to dominate the others. Conflict is not only normal then, it's absolutely necessary for the maintenance of a healthy relationship. If two people who are close are not able to hash out their differences openly and vocally, then the relationship is based on manipulation, misrepresentation, and it slowly will become toxic. I agree. When our highest priority is to always make ourselves feel good or to always make our partner feel good, then nobody ends up feeling good. And our relationship falls apart without our even knowing it. Without conflict, there can be no trust. Conflict exists to show us who is there for us unconditionally and who is just there for the benefits. No one trusts a yes man. If disappointment panda were here, he'd tell you that the pain in our relationship is necessary to cement our trust in each other and produce greater intimacy. I thought that was a really profound outlook on relationships. For anyone who has a hero complex or a savior mentality, I want you to hear this. For saviors, the hardest thing to do in the world is to stop taking responsibility for other people's problems. They spent their whole life feeling valued and loved only when they're saving somebody else. So letting go of this need is terrifying to them as well. And I'm guilty of that. I just think a lot of times, not even necessarily because I thought if I saved and helped people, they'd love me. It's just there are things I've been through. And there's things that, I've bumped my head. And there's people I've loved intimately in relationships and just friendships. And I didn't want them to incur that same pain. But the bottom line is they may have to go through that for their own growth and development. Their own, maturity. One of the things I liked about it in this book, there's a section where he just talks about death. And he essentially says, it's something that we all have to confront. And the fact that we all have a date, no one's going to get out of this thing alive, is why we shouldn't be afraid of anything. Why we should be mindful of, of patterns and learn from our experiences. But ultimately, everything is our teacher. Everything is our teacher. And we can grow. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's like, I look at everything now from a standpoint of when I'm rejected or when something doesn't feel good or when something hurts, it's what am I being taught in this moment? What is the bigger picture that I'm supposed to learn from this? How can I take this and add it to my toolbox and become wiser? And just become sharper, stronger, more resilient. What is this teaching me? I've let go of the victim mentality. But yeah, back to the death. We're all gonna die, and these trivial things won't even matter. Oh man, I was insecure about the size of my feet. Man, I didn't want to apply to that school because I didn't know if I'd get in. Like this, I didn't want to holler at that girl because she might reject me. It's like we're all gonna die. Go all out. Go all out. Pursue your dreams. Take risks. Calculated risks. Don't be a fool. But we shouldn't be prisoners of fear. What else did he say? There's some more. Then he talks about you actually become more empowered. Cause I'm very intuitive. I would say I'm very much a clairvoyant, and there are a lot of things I feel. I'm definitely an empath, and I always try to pick up on things because sometimes I feel like if I can't tell what's going on, or if I can't see the direction that things are going in, I'm going to lose control and I'm going to be a victim of circumstance. But this book is kind of showing me to let go of that. Figure out your sphere of influence. Figure out what you can control and what you can't control. You can't control people. For all those in relationships, not even just romantic relationships, but just relationships of any kind, you can't control people. Just be your best self. Control what you can control. You can control your attitude. You can control how you respond to things. But as far as controlling someone's behavior, you might dead that. He'll go crazy. Yeah, and I realize now, since I've learned to kind of abdicate things I can't control and let them go, I feel like I've gained a better equilibrium within myself, more balance within myself. And I'm realizing, let shit go. Don't stress out over everything. This stuff will kill you. And really, there's another thing I like in this book is he talks about expectations and how a lot of times we just need to curve our expectations. Work towards our strengths, curve our expectations. Reevaluate why we place value on certain things. Like he gave an example of there was a guy that was a part of Metallica, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was a part of Metallica. He got kicked out of Metallica, and he just went on a rage. Like, I'm gonna become the best writer, the best guitarist, and I'm gonna pick other guys that are talented. And eventually he did. He created a group called Megadeth. Megadeth is like, one of they're probably listed amongst the pantheon of heavy metal music. And they said this group, even though they won awards, went on world tours, garnered much love and attention, the guy from Metallica, the guy that was kicked out of Metallica, the creator of Megadeth, he was actually still pissed off and upset. Because he's like, Metallica sold more records than us. Metallica won more awards than us. But it's like, dude, chill. You did a lot of dope shit. You did a lot of dope stuff that some people will never do. Most people will never do. So it really seems like his expectations should have been curved from trying to outdo Metallica to just being great on his own. And he did that. He succeeded. But he kept thinking about what Metallica had going on. And I know, Metallica is pretty ubiquitous. They're very ever-present within the annals of music history, I guess. So I can understand how that can make him feel some kind of way. It was a vendetta, but he should have curbed his expectations. Like, who was it? Another example. Well, the example I want to use is, for example, it doesn't matter how many jump shots I practice and take a day. I will never be a better shooter than Steph Curry. But there's probably other stuff I can do better than Steph Curry, and I can be great at that. So my thing is, I think people need to kind of look inward and prove things to themselves. Stop trying to live for the affirmation of others. There's something that says if you live for the acceptance of others, you'll die from their rejection. So I want to say to everybody watching this, do you. Fuck these people. Do you. Yeah, we have to. Another thing he pointed out is like, look, everybody struggles. Everybody goes through some pain. You're not an anomaly. We're all in this. We're all trying to come up. So let go of this sense of entitlement. Let go of this sense of the world owes me. I'm such a good person. No, let it go. Let it go. Build. Be your best self. Develop yourself spiritually. Develop yourself physically, mentally. Do you. Grab your life by the horns. What was the 5% say? I, self, law, and master. Look inward. Take control of your destiny. to the greatest extent that you can. I know there's but so much we can control, but everything you can control that. Another thing I like in this book, he talks about how I just found it. A lot of people want the reward, but they have to understand to get to that reward, you gotta go through the struggle. It just is what it is, man. These struggles build us up. They make us more resilient. They enable us to overcome. What was it? What Nietzsche say? What does not kill us makes us stronger. And I agree with that to an extent. Sometimes those things traumatize you, but for the most part, keep putting one foot forward in front of the other one and keep going. One of the things he talks about is rejection and how rejection actually makes us better. What is it? The point is this: we all must give a fuck about something in order to value something, and to value something, we must reject what is not. We must reject what is not that something. To value X, we must reject non-X. So I kind of took that to mean rejection isn't necessarily bad. Rejection speaks to a standard. You know, get in where you fit in. There are people who they live for the acceptance of others to the extent where they just forsake themselves. You know, so we have to cut that off. This whole groupthink mentality. I want everybody to like me. I want to get along with everybody. That's just not real life. You know, some people are just going to reject you, and that rejection really is a blessing because it points you towards what is going to embrace you. You got to look at it like that. And one of the things I like that he talks about how like we're living like this shades of gray society where we want to embrace and accept everything. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, you have to have your own standard. And through this standard, you're going to have boundaries. And there's just certain things you're not going to accept. And that's okay. We got to get rid of this 12th place trophy mentality. There's something else I want to find.